So, here we are at West Somerton, Staithe, and today we're going to walk into Winterton. The walk is about 2 miles from here, through the Burnley estate, to Winterton Dunes, and then about 1.5 miles walk down the beach to Winterton itself and the cafe where we're going to have a bit of lunch, and then we're going to come inland through Winterton and walk back here through East Somerton. Somerton, out of interest, is an old English word that means summer pasture, and that suggests that there was movement of animals here going back a long way. West Somerton's mentioned in the Domesday Book, so there's a lot of history here, and animals would have been moved from here. And actually Winterton, that name suggests winter pasture, so they were probably moved from Winterton to Somerton. So yeah, it's a lovely day. It's a bit cooler than it has been, which is good. There's a little bit of a breeze, so the recording may pick up a bit, the microphone may pick up a bit of noise, but hopefully it'll be okay. So, here we go, let's go. This is my least favourite part of the walk, just because it involves being on a road. And there's no pavement. But it's okay, it's only about 100 yards. And then we get off the road, so not too much of it. See, this field's just been cut. And that is the Lion pub there, which is a lovely pub that reopened a few years ago. It's one of the Norfolk pubs that sort of closed down because I guess it wasn't doing well enough, but it's reopened recently. It's doing really well, and they serve lovely food in there. Now here, at the corner of the road in front, is where we come off the road, so not too much more now, and then we'll be off into the fields. And actually, to walk from here to Winterton Dunes, after this you don't need to be on the road at all. Over and come off here at the footpath. Currently looking towards up the coast towards Horsey Gap. Okay, so we're off road, and actually we could stay off road all the way to Winterton Dunes now, just across footpaths and fields, which is lovely. However, we may just take a small diversion and go to Somerton Church, have a quick look around there, because I think that would be interesting to look around. Okay, so at the end of the field, just go through this little track. Yeah, it's a much easier way. There's a new gate at the end here. It used to be a sort of something you had to jump over and through, and it was not easy for the dogs, but this sort of zigzag one is fantastic. So normally we'd go left here, but today we're going to go right, just to divert to the church. That's the main road, and just dash across here onto Church Road. And there's a war memorial there. We'll take a quick look at that. Okay, let's have a look. It's always quite poignant when you come across war memorials. This one is for the First World War. Church Road, quite aptly named because there's nothing else up here except the church, and the road doesn't go anywhere else. So their choice of names are probably quite limited. So here's the entrance to Somerton Church. It's one of Norfolk's round tower churches. Go in. Okay, so it says the church is open. Let's have a look in. Here we are. Wow. Welcome, St Mary's Church, constant but evolving. Almost a millennium of worship has continued within these ancient walls, a focus then and now for the life and faith of many generations of local people. We pray that you will find something here of the presence of God, and that today stands apart from the rest of your life. May God give you wisdom, joy and peace as you move on elsewhere today and throughout your continuing journey of life. A memorial to the to those who lost their lives in the First World War. In honoured and grateful memory of those whose names are inscribed below and who gave their lives in the Great War, 1914 to 1918. Herbert Hudson, Frederick C. Jetton, Edward G. Knights, William R. Knights, Charles Mitchell, George Norfolk, Sidney Page, Frederick Sadler, Thomas H. Sadler, Eric Simmons, William S. Thane. They were a wall unto us both by night and by day. There's a real sense of history here. It's lovely to be able to come in. It's just left open, you can come in and look around. And this large grave here is the grave of one Robert Hales, who was also known as the Norfolk Giant. Robert Hales was 7 feet 8 inches tall, and the gravestone reads, "Beneath are deposited the mortal remains of Robert Hales, the Norfolk Giant, whose height was 7 feet 8. He died in Great Yarmouth on November the 22nd, 1865. Reader, the dust must be your bed. Vain are opposing powers. The wise, the strong, and crowned head must lie as low as ours." This tomb is erected by his affectionate widow. Now, Robert Hales, apparently, because he was so tall, he went to really pretty much joined the circus. He was in the Navy, but he couldn't stay in the Navy because he wouldn't fit below decks, so he joined the circus and he went to Tombland and Great Yarmouth, and he met his wife there, who was actually taller than him. And he went to America and worked with P.T. Barnum, so he had a very interesting life. And he was a publican. When he came back, he was a publican in London, I think. Ran a pub, and he saved someone from drowning when they went overboard on a ship. And I think he went overboard himself and had to have a long time before he was rescued. So he saw a lot of life and was quite a character. And there he is, Robert Hales, the Norfolk Giant, resting peacefully at this lovely, lovely church at West Somerton. Okay, that was interesting, I think. Right, that was good. And we will now press on. Just seen this, here's another grave. This is for Albert Edward Warnes. He was a Lance Corporal in the 7th Battalion of Royal Norfolk Regiment. He died on the 19th of July 1944 in Fontenay, France. So I imagine that would be probably as part of the aftermath of the D-Day landings, perhaps at Operation Epsom when the British were trying to capture Caen, but just 19, and he's buried here with his mum and dad. And on with the walk. Okay, so this is the track we came out of, and we're back there now. That was our diversion to go and visit the church, and now we're back on our route. Now actually it's now just gone 3:30, and the cafe at Winterton we were going to eat at closes at 5, so we may not make it, but I think it was worth it to stop by the church and see some of the history there. So we'll carry on. Now this track now, it's a public footpath, runs through the Burnley estate and Burnley Hall So we're just going in there now, and this will cut across really and bring us out at Winterton Dunes in probably just under 2 miles. How are your new trainers?
They're really good, yeah.
You finding them good?
You can feel the wind going through them. It keeps your feet
they're very
cool.
fine mesh, aren't they?
Yeah, very comfy.
We've both bought new trainers. See if I can show you mine. There you are. And they're almost see-through.
Mine are better.
Theirs are better. I got mine and she liked them, so she copied me as usual.
I got mine first.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long is your nose getting?
But mine came from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
That's why mine came afterwards.
Yeah. Talking double Dutch. Oh, they're going in. Let them go in.
That was a dirty one.
Oh, okay, all right. Too late. Too late. They're in. Yes, it's all dirty water. You coming out now? It's getting sooty.
Yeah,
come on.
Out.
Come on. It's going to be black. Ugh. Ugh, 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 ugh. Don't spray down next to me. Monty, come on.
Out.
Come on. Oh, Monty. Monty, look at you. You look like I'll put you up the chimneys. Come on, let's go. You're not going in there again. Don't even start looking wishfully at that. Look at you. That is awful. Right, so we're currently heading north on Holmes Road, which isn't really a road, it's just a track. And this will eventually bring us out at Winterton Dunes after a couple of twists and turns. But in front of us we've got some sheep on the road, so dogs are on leads, and we'll just scoot past. Hopefully they'll go back into their grazing. There we go. Go on, little sheep. No, don't go that way. Oh, I see. They must have got across somewhere, but I don't know where, because there's right there. So they're going back up there. There they go, hopefully back into the field to join their flock. And there you go, they didn't get through the dike, they just went under the gate. And there in the distance are the farm buildings of Somerton Homes. Okay, so here we want to turn right. Mabel, come on. Good girl. Okay, those farm buildings you can see in front of us are Winterton homes. And I think the animals are... There's sometimes some cows in there, but I think they'll probably be out to graze now. So there's a wheat field here, and this hasn't been cut yet, but I imagine this will be done very soon because the other wheat fields have been cut. Putting them on leads while we go past here. Right, the animals are out to graze. Okay, and here you can see now the coastal wall, the sea wall, and that's looking up towards Horsey. And we're getting there now, not far to go. And here the track runs through southwards. That's really the last geographical feature before we get to the sea wall and Winterton Ness, which is also Winterton Dunes. Okay, dog's back on the leads because there's some partridges up here, and also there are snakes in Winterton Dunes, so we don't want to risk them upsetting any snakes. So we'll keep them on the lead till we get to the beach now. Okay, so here we go, and we're now joining the Norfolk coast path, which runs from there to the coast. Here we go, Winterton Dunes, National Nature Reserve. I've never known what these are. Danger, high fire risk. So, here we go. Right, and you can see that beach wall is actually quite steep at this point. Here we go. Oh, it's a bit windy. Oh yeah. Woohoo! Cold water, baby. Oh yeah. Monty, come here. down from Winterton, where we came out into the Dunes Nature Reserve towards, I suppose, Winterton proper, where the cafe is. lovely stretch of beach. The sand is so soft here, it's very tiring to walk on, so we're going to head into the dunes. Hopefully the going will be a bit easier. We're nearly there, the cafe's there. Okay, hopefully up here we'll get a better surface to walk on. Closer look at Winterton Church now. You can see the lighthouse. Cafe. Some people. Oh, Mabel. Now that's a good view. And that's an even better view. Okay, so we've had a nice sandwich and a slush puppy at the cafe at Winterton. It's nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, very nice. And shortbread.
Shortbread. Norfolk shortbread. And we feel quite refreshed. And we got there just before it closed. So now it's back to West Somerton. But this time we're going back through Winterton Village and then through to East Somerton. And the wind's dying down a bit now, we're inland again. The wind's died down a little. And here are the roundhouse holiday chalets with the lighthouse behind.
Very generous feeling.
It's nice food, isn't it? So the Norfolk Coast Path goes that way. We're not going that way. We're now going into Winterton Village. Nice village green. Okay, so here's Winterton Church. It's been a sort of a feature on the horizon really as we've walked. And here it is. It's a quite impressive church. It's one of the taller churches in Norfolk. I think they called it 7 levels. Definitely an impressive church. What a size. And I read that some of the taller churches in Norfolk were put along the coast to literally act as beacons in a sense, or geographical points on the coast for people for sailors to know where they were. And there is a lighthouse here as well. But you'd certainly see this a long way away. And now we take the foot track by the side of the church, and it runs along the allotments. This is pretty. And down through this little almost tunnel in the trees to the next track. Let's just go left here, and this track will take us to East Somerton. Now just heading out of Winterton on the track past Winterton Church up to East Somerton, and as we're coming up here there's quite a good view of the wind turbines, which I'll show you here. Now I'm just going to give you a zoomed in view of that. Okay, hopefully you can see them. Now they're on a site called Blood Hill, and there's a couple of legends regarding where the name Blood Hill came from. As you can see, it's a sort of a Norfolk hill. I don't think many other places would call that a hill, but we're still pretty close to the coast, and one of the legends is that the Saxons fought a massive battle with the Vikings, the invading Vikings, which of course had lots of raids and lots of history in Norfolk, and the legend says that the battle was so fierce and so deadly that blood was running down the hill. The legend doesn't say who won. Who knows? And the second legend regarding Blood Hill is that there is a site on the hill, I think on a part of the hill called Gibbet Hill or Gibbet something. So obviously the gibbet was somewhere where people were hung, so perhaps that's where it got its name as well. That was the site where all the naughty people were hung. Anyway, at the moment we have 3 wind turbines there, marking the spot. Okay, so we're now going to cut across back onto the Burnley estate, but there's something else we can visit, and that is another church, but the ruins of St Mary. Now look at this. Wow. Look at that. That looks like something out of Lord of the Rings. It's almost elven. St Mary's Church was built in the 15th century and survived the Reformation, but fell into disuse 200 or 300 years later, and this is what remains. It's still a very serene, peaceful place. There's a legend that says an old witch with a wooden leg was imprisoned and buried in this church, and her leg grew and grew out of the ground and destroyed the church in revenge. The legend says if you walk 3 times around the tree, you'll unleash her evil spirit. Monty, go on. Okay, and this is now Burnley Hall. There's over 1,700 acres attached to Burnley Hall, spread across Somerton and Winterton, so that's a pretty decent sized estate. The hall itself is a Grade 2 Georgian 18th century building that was substantially renovated in the 80s. And you get a better look at the hall itself. Quite impressive if you like that sort of thing. Wouldn't mind a few of those acres though. At the end of this track we go right and the gate is open. It's not usually. Have they had any water?
They just put back there, bodies and went bodies.
Hello, darling. Hello.
Both of them topsy turvy. Oh, honestly.
There's a couple of buzzards in that field. I don't know if the lens is going to pick them up. But also you can see Somerton Church there that we visited at the beginning of the walk, and one of the turbines from Blood Hill. Peaceful scene. Perhaps the buzzards are there because the field's been cut, but there's certainly a lot of activity. Okay, so we're on the last leg now. We're well, I suppose still in East Somerton, but we're really on the verge. We're back on the Burnley estate and we're heading back to West Somerton Staithe. Just up there, a little way up there is the route. We'll join the route that we started on, and that last little bit will be the same. So far to go now. Okay, so here we are back. That's where we went on the way out to Winterton Dunes, and now we're going back through here, back towards West Somerton. Put you back on the lead for a little bit, just till we get onto the field. Good boy. To the road, briefly on tarmac, but then cross over back on our little track here. Okay, so we're back to the road. Hopefully it'll be a bit quieter. It's the last stretch now. Back to the Staithe, or perhaps the village green. Oh. Right, we're back, and what a lovely walk. West Somerton, what can I say? It's just a lovely, picturesque village on the Broads. A short walk to Winterton and Winterton Dunes. Winterton-on-Sea is just lovely. It's just miles of golden sanded beach, nobody else there. and then a short walk to Winterton Village and a cafe, and then inland through East Somerton, back here, with a little bit of history on the way. I certainly enjoyed it, and I hope you did. If you liked it, please put a like on the video and subscribe if you want to see more. See you next time.